hapa ya CBC.
Yes.
That is you politician, helicopter, yeah, don't know what. What kind of content is that? I remember when I was in school, we had very good books. Hello Children, Mr. and Mrs. Kamau, Neighbors, and whatever. Books that encourage intellectual thinking in children. But when you bring a book praising a politician, akona helicopter, akona magari kubwa, what are you teaching these children? Eh?
Yeah.
Queen Simba, how much do you earn as a JSS teacher?
On a stipend.
How much?
17,000.
How do you survive with 17,000?
Ikifika inaisha kama umeomba ingine tena unakuwa kwa madeni. That's how we survive.
Wewe umeenda shule, umesoma, you are a teacher and you are being paid 17,000.
Yes.
Do you think the government is fair to JSS teachers?
It is not even close to the word fair. Not even close.
So what are JSS teachers doing to address this problem?
JSS teachers, like I explained, tulikuwa streets, but they terminated us. Wakaingiza uoga kwa most of us. So the few that remained are the only ones that are holding on. Because we asked, our main issue was asking for forensic audit from TS, because we have more than 5,000 backdoor employments. And they know that's a very crucial area to touch, because we're demanding for our confirmation, because they are giving people who graduated in 2023 employment letters, but they don't want to listen to us, and they're giving backdoors. Machogu alionekana in parliament, in public akipeana barua. There's this women rapper, Linet Toto, anapeana barua. Even Osoro mwenyewe, anapeana mabarua kwa events. But when we question them is when they started coming now to terminate us. And it made most of us to be silent. Our main call was for our confirmation, but if they want to give out letters.
Willie, give us a breather.
But we are so ready, Americans, we are so ready to be on the streets.
Thank you. Willie, give us a breather.
Wow. It is very sad what the government is doing to the people, but it is good that people are becoming emancipated. Thank you so much, Americs, for this. My name is Willie Oeba, and I serve to raise a new generation of artists and activists who use poetry for social change. And today we will do a mashup with one of my proteges called Brian Silways. We do Matatu Civic Injection with him. So I'll start and then I'll take it from me. So this goes out to our fathers, out to boys, our Jew, their dads, they are our brothers. Out to a government that doesn't care after elections, we are now treated as others. This goes out to people who take less, hadi wanafanya zile Rolling Stone, most as well the gather. Out to a government that doesn't care after elections, we are now treated as others. Out kwa wananchi wa kawaida, apart from online, hana financial status. Out kwa nchi yenye before upate social services other than tribe, nothing else matters. Out kwa kebs, hawaangalii quality of products apart from test ya food, ona sasa, not soap lathers. Out to a nation that talks big, lakini kifika kwa implementation, it stammers. Jesus na the 12 disciples walikuwa fishers of men, lakini vile pastors wana insist on kupanda mbegu, utadhani walikuwa farmers. Experience is the best teacher. Hatuwezi learn. Our education system imetuprogram kuwa crammers. To all women wamekataa ku take care of their kids. Watoto sasa wanapata inspiration kwa hip hop za Eminem. Ona sasa martial mothers. Politician walikuwa very friendly 5 years ago. Sasa wapatikani hata online. Voters turn to mourners. Polisi wamekuwa rogue. Wanaelewa tu language ya stray bullets. Sasa waiters ndo wana take orders. Friends wameturn to enemies so fast, kwa mpaka watu wanasikilizana. Mtaani unemployment imefanya cyclists wa create borders. Na wakikataa magazeti ziandike, mimi nitaandika mbona magazeti hazikuandika, alafu magazeti zitaandika mbona mimi niliandika. Ju pretense iko so open, crocodile tears inahitaji intervention ya kitunguu. Vitu kikwa life ishapoteza meaning. Pombe inatumika kutoa lock because wako drunk in power, ju walishapoteza kifunguu. We will make it in our motherland. Na reminders nafikiria lazima wakope abroad, ni kama neno success ina interpretation ya Kiswahili from Kizungu. Pesa ni shetani, but ni chache. Mali natoka wengi tunaipata kiumungu mungu.
Na Wakenya this time itabidi mumetii. Yani dear Mr. President, tuona discuss issues za vibanda kwa KEF. Dear Mr. President, just like your friends abroad umefanya Kenya na madeni zimekuwa ma BFF. Let's talk about IMF. Kuna MP ako in denial so ilimchocha jenzini watoto. Mbona kwa university wao unalipa school fees ndo mtoto wako asome same politician analipa kutokea kwa the same school photo. Na Kenya mmedecide kupractice political prostitution. Sasa sahi mkubwa magoldiga mmeamua kuwe Joho. Huyu MP anatuoa bado. So to God be the glory. No lie hakuna good so nowadays na worry. Kwa sababu cases za injustices zimekuwa plenty na corruption imekuwa kama food. Ndo maana wale mfuko zao ziko full to full, sisi wenye zetu ni empty. Atuwakingia kwa gavota leta change but after election wanaingia undercover. Huku wanaacha watoi kwa street hawana hata kitu ya kuwa cover. As usual tunakuanga njana hatuwezi karanga. Kwa manifesto yao utadhani watatupeleka faba tu, kweli ndo kitu wa wananga. Ile kitu wanakuanga nayo ni tamaa ya mabenz, ndo maana kwa mfuko amejaza mapeni. Ikikuja ni social media Mr. Politician upata likes many, lakini huwezi toa comments kwa kazi zao kwa sababu ni blank. So afande with or without uniform sare kujudge my youth hata kama wamedress to kill. This looks are deceiving. Kenya, people dying because you want to earn a living. Na kijana pesa ya pombe isifanye unyonge watu juu ya kuwaibia. Nimerepi word kuliko MCA wako Jumanene ubakaji staki kusikia. Northeastern si Kamel peke yake, hata watu wanaangamia. Paint our schools at least to pass na flying colors. Huku Kenya na hiyo funding model free education sasa ndo imekuwa bure kabisa. In a monthly period hedhi inazuia wa girls kuelimika. Tunaambia serikali hatuna kazi, alafu serikali ya Ruto inatuuliza hatushaisoma Bible kakosa job wewe. Brian Silways.
Wajinga nyinyi.
Great. Where is Brian?
Sai.
Yes?
Yeah, mambo.
Poa sana.
Yes, Brian Silways in it.
Yes, go on.
Afande, wacha nianzie Nakuru place nimetoka. So siku hizi ndo ujue government inatucheza, kila politician ako na tournament. Na nauliza, hao vijana waliuliwa na bullet ama the police on 25th. Nimebreathe fire kwa sababu naogopa nitashikwa na polisi alishinda kushika their own school motto. Nauliza mbona walimu wamesoma ndo kuinvite politician hajasoma kukuja kuadvise watoto kuhusu masomo. Nasema, even if you don't take a look at me, I will still do it. Then the rest of you. Then rest in peace to all the fallen comrades. You see, they don't need this moment of silence. All they need is a moment of replacement. It rings in my mind, why did we have to kill this relationship before even our engagement? The problem is, we don't really know between education and communication which one is the real key. Another key issue is, we can't go on with this conversation because even the dent in our press is linked to our president. Now, before you respond to this, first of all, respond to those who were killed, because that's all I care about. What is this culture that people with zero interest are the one going to represent us during those agreements? You see, bad governance has affected us just the same way climate change to hit. Because apart from your sound system, si kutuhit na the sound like kinajua kali, confusing weather mpaka you don't really know whether you need fulana ama fulani. Nitasisitiza as a way to say no to stress, depression haina form, itakukosesha usingizi kwa hiyo mattress. Landlord wana plot na ma-agent vile wata make your night sleepless. Extra pressure, ukipata padlock extra kwa mlango. Elimu ni ufunguo wa maisha lakini si wa mlango. So hapo kwako, education keys ni useless. Hata uwe na more spice way useless. Whether in the past ama present, relax, sustain, don't stay wondering what to do. Stay hydrated, because water is source of life, but life is not source of water. Weomba kazi na wasko pia ukate maji lakini usikate kakwota. Na kabla ulewe chakari, ulihepa aje option ya soda. Mrembo hapo Twitter unalilia mbegu ya boyfriend akutaki, nikao juu unaweza pata jeans kwa toja. Na bro, hata kama umeunga kwa gym, usitumie mapenzi ya kifua. Hawa rembo wanaweza kuacha juu ya msi ameunga kwa toja. Thank you so much.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much, Willis.
Yes,
it is a very sad day for this country. Edgar.
Very sad.
Gone.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Merit. I hope I'm being heard. Kindly check your DM.
Okay. All right. Yeah, go on, Edgar.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So it's actually a very, very sad state of an affair in this country because the wicked political class is making people actually suffer deeply. So the cries of different people in streets, our loved one perish in streets, and it's actually very, very sad that parents are forced to bury their children very early, and the pain of such losses run deeper than just words, how words can express it. So this society is under wicked leadership that is marked by brokenness, where the foundation of hope have actually crumbled. Unemployment has risen. We have so many youth that have gone to school and they do not have jobs. So this unemployment has left families in dispute and drowning in debt. And poverty has actually spread like a plague, with the most vulnerable bearing the brunt of its weight. We've seen accidents, we've seen devastating fires becoming too common just to divide attention, or rather divert attention from the main cause. Something that this administration has been known for years to do. So the fire has claimed lives of our children. The fire has claimed lives of a very young population of this country. Abductions are still happening. People are still missing, and that is the saddest truth. And no one is talking about it.
I saw MJ here. Why can't she give us an update on our young people who have been abducted and missing? I think she has been following this up.
Yes, Nyakundi, kindly, if you could send her the mic, because I get so many DMs of people saying that their loved ones are still missing. Others from the protest of June 25th, others from the 18th, they have not been found up to date. So it's a very, very sad state of an affair. So let me try to accept this co-host and give her the mic. So
there's a video here I wanted to play of some pastor. I don't know why it is not playing, but it is. This man has said very, very sad things. I don't know if it can play. Is it there? Can you hear it?
no, I can't hear it on my side.
Okay, it's okay. I think there's a problem with my sound system and my mixer and my sound card. I think I'll sort it in our next meeting. So anyway, if you have the speaker, I can see Aisha is here. Aisha, gone. All right, AK, gone.
Hi, thank you very much. Thank you for having me on this space. I was on this space a few weeks ago, early August, that you guys were having, and just wanted to come up and show support for you guys and acknowledge that, it seems like you guys have the biggest space on X. I mean, we see this from the United States over here. And just kind of listening to the conversation earlier, I really want to applaud you guys for sticking together, coming together, having these discussions. It's the same thing we're doing in several countries in South America, North America, Europe, where the people kind of have the same collective voice, which is standing up against oppression and control from the government. And I think, if you guys, anybody here had seen the recent post on X about over 1 billion users used the platform last month, I think this is where the voice gets the loudest. There's a lot of people that are becoming aware of, especially the cause there in Kenya. rising up against the government and the president, I think is important to spread that word, to know that's the voice of the people. And I just want to applaud you and your audience, the speaker panel, Eric, everybody in here that is able to come together with such a large audience, 10,000 people, I think I saw in here earlier. And I don't think that's matched other than major platforms here in the United States, at least from anywhere I've seen. You know, I've brought some people from my community to like educate them in how to make art. On that note, I want to give props to Willie for that poem earlier. That was fantastic and very talented. Um, it would be cool to see some, you know, maybe some soft rhythm or some music in some of those poems in the future. I think that would also help it appeal to a wider audience. Those people that are into music as well as poetry. And on our side, we have graphic artists. There's one that posted a picture in the bubble here. Her name is Maui Babe. I'm getting her a little bit more involved in doing things in terms of just raising awareness, bringing charity, doing things that we can help. Here in America, we have a lot of immigrants from African countries, including Kenya. And I just want to applaud the work ethic, the intelligence that comes from your country, and just it's demonstrated here on these spaces. And so I wanted to come up again and show my support. I don't really have a lot to say other than that, and just to let you guys know that it's working. Everything you guys are doing, the you know, the sharing of the voices, the sharing of the information, the passion, the inclusiveness, and just getting together and having these spaces is very important for your cause. There's a cause that we're also working towards on our side in terms of world government control. And the only place we're really allowed to have these conversations is on X and platforms like Rumble. And you guys can probably notice the worldwide attempt to censor these platforms. And we all need to stand up together, regardless of our cause, to try to combat that effort to censor us, because this is the only way we can get the word out and share the word amongst the people. That's all I really have to say. Thank you very much for letting me come up and speak. I wish you guys the best of luck. I will always come and support you anytime I see you have a space going on. I will drop art, I'll drop links, and anything I can do to help.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for supporting us from the US. We appreciate for this platform for giving us an opportunity to speak out without censorship. Thank you very much.
It's so important.
Yes.
It's so important. Would you mind if I posted that art that one of my artists made for you guys for this space? Would you mind if I posted that in the Jumbotron?
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. Next, Aisha. Aisha. All right. MMESQ. Cyprian Edgar, take over.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Amerix. For me, I'll be very brief, and I don't want to talk about the new funding model. I just want to focus with this big issue that for me, I feel like we need to take it even more seriously. The story of Adani. For the small investigation I've been doing, I've realized this thing was planned way before, and it actually started in 2021. In 2021, there was this very important bill that was repealed. This act that was repealed, that was the Public-Private Partnership Act of 2013 by the Public-Private Partnership Act of 2021. And this is the very same law that Ruto, they have used to cooperate or whoever to operate with Adani to come up with this deal. Now, to the whatever I know right now, we don't know the contract. What we're having right now, we have what's called the feasibility study that was conducted by ALG. And if you follow back who hired ALG, ALG was hired by the National Treasury. That means these people did plan for this. So ALG was hired to conduct a feasibility study on the financial sustainability of JKA. That is the KAA and KQ. Their main aim was to investigate on the possible areas of improvement of the aviation policy in Kenya. They had nothing to do with the this public-private partnership or something. No, I've heard many people saying that public-private partnership in the government of Kenya is alleged to have done with Adani is illegal. First of all, it's not illegal. It is legal. And I want, if you guys get time, you go through the Public-Private Partnership Act of Kenya. That's of 2021. And it was passed way back in 2021. Imepatia Adani that power to come up with the initiative, private initiated proposal. Now, what we have in the public right now, we only have the feasibility study, then the proposal that was done by Adani to the government after the feasibility study was conducted. We don't know the contract. Right now, tunaongelea rumors about the contract of the Adani. So, kina Nyakundi, those guys who wanakuanga na intel manzi, we want to know this contract. Nini iko kwa hii contract? Is it true that that is due, I don't know, 18% internal rate of return? Is it true? Na kama mbona, why are they hiding it? Because if you follow up the news about this Adani deal, even the KIA out to the leaders there, they are telling you, when they reveal the content of the contract. Even Onyonka, I think is the senator, mwenye alianza hii story sana sana, he said he can't reveal the content of this contract. So what is in this contract? Because they're selling one of our very important assets. What is the content of this contract? So that's the only thing nataka kuongelelea hapa. And I drop the mic. Thank you, Ameris, for this
Asante
chance.
sana bro, thank you very much. Adani must fall. Hiyo ni kitu tumeongea. Next. Edgar and Cyprian take over.
Okay, thank you so much, Americ. So I'm trying to give a fresh set of speakers the mic. So Wakili Steve, I've given you the mic. How are you, sir? What do you have to say? 2 minutes.
I am very well. Thank you very much. And I want to salute all the patriots who are having this discussion about the state of our affairs of this country. And also to mention that us personally have been on the issue, I serve in the LSK Council. And that's why most of we have interacted when we are trying to bail out people from the police cells and all that. But recently we decided to also join the caravan and join our friend Morara, Coco Ground. We do civic education. And the reason why I felt I request a mic here is to request each and every one of us, because even as we have this conversation on the X space, we need to remember that the biggest challenge we have is to also convert our parents, to convert our brothers and our sisters in the villages, and to let them know that the kind of Kenya we are desiring and the conversations we are having. That moment you are just scrolling through your phone and listening to the space using your earphones at home, you can also try and share the space with your family, have conversations with your family, so that we need to inject and let our parents know what Adani deals mean, what the new funding model of the university mean to them, what it means to our children, to our brothers and sisters, what it means to our children or those who have older children. We also need to let them know how the Ruto regime has been doing things to ensure that, to make our lives difficult. And it is a fact. We can cross-check through the programs and projects that we know are happening across the country, in our ward level, in our constituency level, in our county level, and we start holding these people, educating our parents to understand this, because this is the only way we can defeat this. We may discuss, and unless we become organized and push this agenda and support those who have even ambition to serve, who are young people, we may not realize everything, because we have tried to be in the street. We injected in the street. We lost soldiers in the street, almost 60 plus people. Some of them, we don't even know where they are up to date. So, and we know these guys, when we are doing that, they're just in the villages trying to bribe our parents and our siblings in the village. So it is our business to also ensure as we carry these conversations online, we also take this conversation home, let our people know what these deals, what these private partnerships deals mean, what it means they are roads that are not properly constructed, and what it means that the amount of money that was allocated and how money has been misused and the project has stalled. That's the reason why they don't have roads. That's the reason why they don't have access to water, clean water. and access to healthcare. So it's my call and my clarion call to all of you, and we request that we do a lot of support to our those young people who are moving across the country to carry out civic education, and we all join in this initiative and discussions, both at the spaces and on the ground. Thank you very much, Amerix.
Thank you very much,
And also,
Wakili.
and before I drop Edgar, I wanted to request, since my colleague Morara was holding another space, but he requested to mention something and inject you through this platform of mine.
All right. Thank you very much, Wakili. Wakili has mentioned something like talking to our parents. Bana, kama wewe ni Mkristo na mzazi wako ni Mkristo na ana believe sana pastor, enda umfungulie Bible, Revelation chapter 13 verse 15. Enda umsomee hiyo chapter vizuri, and then kuna video ina trend ya Cabinet Secretary of Interior talking about digital things and things. Waambie that is now the mark of the beast yenye mnaambiwa kwa Bible. Hiyo verse inasema, hiyo verse inasema, the second beast was given power to give breath to the image of the first beast, so that the image could speak and cause all who refused to worship the image to be killed. It also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hands or on their foreheads, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of its name. Chukua hiyo Bible, pelekea baba yako, pelekea nyanya yako, mwambie hii kitu wanasema ya digital, sijui digital, watakuwa wanascan macho yako, wanaangalia macho, wanachukua iris, mwambie tu hiyo ndio ile mark of the beast yenye walisema, so that they be aware this digitalization of your biometrics is wrong, is ungodly, is immoral, is a sin. Thank you very much.
I thank you.
Okay. Asante. Thank you, Amerix. So, and thank you so much, Wakili. So we will move to...
I am here, Morara.
Morara is not here. We will move to
I am the
Shiwu.
one speaking.
Oh, okay. Morara,
Yes,
how are
I'm
you?
speaking
What
on
do you have to
Wakili's
say?
phone.
All right, go on, sir.
Hiya, Wakenya hamjambo. First, let me say thank you very much for letting me be here. I have to speak through Wakili Steve Mbugwa's phone because mine has just dropped off. I'm with Wakili Steve Mbugwa here on the ground. And just to give you a little update is that today we attended the memorial service for the children that perished, the boys that were burnt in the fire at Endarasha. And we also showed you the Endarasha Charity Wabaringo Road. And I think you saw the state of that road that was launched by none other than the Deputy President, now our President, William Ruto. I also held a civic education rally here in Kieni West in Nyeri County. We continue to do what we have to do to try to fight for our nation, of course at great costs, because sometimes it's difficult to fight the enemy and still fight some people on the side who are also fighting you. I am requesting all Kenyans to give me their support in the sense of just handling for me negative publicity. I think you've seen that the state has invested a lot of resources in terms of trying to paint my name in bad light so that jina iharibike nishindwe kufanya kazi. But remember, you are only as strong as your team members, and since I'm a team player, if they weaken me, they've weakened the movement. Therefore, I'm requesting that you support me. I'm sorry that we had 3 parallel spaces running today. We had not consulted in advance, all of us, to see how we can consolidate, but we promise that in the future we will consolidate. Also, let me take this opportunity to thank the Kenyans that have been contributing towards my cause. I want to remind them that the system they contributed for, we bought it together with the vehicle. So what we did is we saved some money on the sound system and then invested it in the vehicle, because initially what we had said is that we'll repair the vehicle. But now somebody, gave us a very big discount and said that the balance on the vehicle is a donation. So we bought the vehicle at a very cheap price, which was like a donation from someone. Then we discounted and got sound that was a bit more affordable and put it on. But the sound is super and it's okay. I also want to report that we continue to crisscross the country. Right now, we are on our tour of the Mount Kenya region. We decided to begin in Isiolo as we come back this way. Today we were in Nyeri. We'll continue doing the Mount Kenya exposure, showing you projects that money was allocated, they were launched, and they never started. And if they started, they stalled. And if they didn't stall, um, looting of public funds happened. Let me be grateful to Nelson Amenya in terms of how much commitment he has had on the Adani case, and how much he has put in effort in terms of collecting documents and informing all of us. Mr. Nelson, if it were not for you, I would not be knowing about the Adani. And I believe I have a role to play in terms of kicking out the Adanis, because you see, not all of us can be activists and not all of us can be Twitter moguls. Some of us are born in political families and we can actually be politicians. So I'm requesting all of the people that are on this space tonight to stop thinking that politics is a dirty game, to know that it is time for young leaders and people of integrity to come up and take leadership positions in our country. Kwa hivyo msiogope kuingia katika siasa na msiogope kusema kwamba mnataka viti vya siasa, because clearly siasa is determining our everyday life. Whether you are a professional, whatever you do, you can realize that siasa is actually, even if you don't like it, you don't want to participate in it, it's affecting your life. So far what we've done is that we've abandoned our elective institutions and left them to idiots, drug dealers. We've left our elective institutions to money launderers and people who do sex trafficking and human trafficking and all manner of criminals of international repute. They're the ones holding, positions of influence in our government. Yet we are here, people of integrity, people like to take the country forward, and we are not getting an opportunity. The other thing the citizens of Kenya need to think about is campaign financing. I know have been called names, nimetusiwa, nimeambiwa this is a con man. Some people have even gone to my Facebook and revised back to my posts in 2022, gotten pictures of me and my wife on Indiani and posted them and saying, ndio huyo ameenda holiday na pesa yenu. That is just an attempt to discredit me. The government is scared that I'm redefining campaign financing and that I'm managing to raise resources to combat corruption. So they are worried about that because they expect we become beggars, so that when Ruto calls you to give you some money, unaenda ukikimbia, or when Oscar Sudi calls you to give you some money, unaenda ukianguka, because they expect you to be beggars. But me, I've been given 10 bob, 20 bob, 50 bob, 100 bob, 1,000 bob by the Kenyan people. I am very grateful, na ninawaambia ukweli, mimi sitaaibika kuomba usaidizi, because I have two Prados to fuel, yenye mlinunulia na yangu, the one that I had kutoka kitambo, the one that the bloggers edited the number plate wakasema ni KCX. That Prado is actually a KDK. So niko na hizo mbili kufuel, niko na generator ya kufuel, I have security to pay and a researcher to pay. So mimi nitawaomba tu, mkinitumia 10 bob, 20 bob, 30 bob, 50 bob, it will go a long way. But ikifika mahali mnikaushe pia ni sawa, niko na kaploti mahali kenye niko ready kuuza, because I can tell you, me I'm dying for this. Hata kidney yangu, si tuko na kidney mbili, moja tulipewa kama startup capital. And I hope Nyanza
tumekupoteza kidogo. Can you restart what you had said? Tumekupoteza kidogo. Go back like 30 seconds.
I had a call came in and then I was unable to communicate. So mi nimesema I will not be ashamed of continuing to ask the Kenyan people to support me, because I know I will be accountable for the support that you've given me. Of course, I'm not able to also reveal every expenditure that I do. For example, if I start revealing where I fuel, nini, the government will also be very keen, because if I post it on my social media, I'll also be telling them, and they'll be able to come for me and know that this is my movement. But I want to assure the Kenyan people that whatever you finance, it will happen. I promise that. Na ikifika mahali munikaushe, niko na kaploti mahali nitauza, because me I'm in this kwa hali na mali. In fact, I have 2 kidneys. I don't need the 2. I just need 1. So I can also sacrifice the other one. Tufanyie kazi. I want to tell all the young people that are in our country that, look, I, Morara Kebaso, have become popular, but this popularity is not mine. Nimepewa na watu. Na since nimepewa na watu, I'd like to use that platform to be a convener of people. Na mimi nataka, kama uko kwa ward level, sumbua MCA. Audit MCA kabisa. Audit yeye paka kichwa yake wake kama pressure cooker. Wherever you are in a constituency, audit your MP. Tell him Morara alisema to audit. Audit him badly paka alie machozi. Wherever you are in the county, audit your governor, because Morara cannot go to every single corner of this country. But I want to give birth to thousands and millions of Morara who are in every corner of the country injecting. Hata wakati niko on holiday, bado wafuasi wangu wana inject. So that's what I want to do with my popularity. I want to use it as a platform of convening and inspiring people to do what I cannot be able to do. With regards to Endarasha, I want to assure you that we attended the prayers. We were very disappointed that a member of parliament, who is also the chairman of budget, flew in with a helicopter. That was jokes, because he flew in with a helicopter instead of going through the road. Aone vile barabara ya Endarasha ni mbaya, and that's why fire engines were not be able to get to the place on time. The CS for health was also there. I talked to her. I told her that Kieni West does not have a single hospital. So I told her, I can confirm here that I spoke to Deborah Mlonga, and I told her that the whole of Kieni West haina hospitali hata moja. I hope to see action in that direction. Thank you so much for continuing to support us. As you can see, ile support mmetupea imekuwa ikifanya kazi, makontrakta wamekuwa wakirudishwa site, wizi imeanza kupungua, kuna uoga kidogo. Mi nisaidieni tu na mnisupport na mniombee, and please don't expect me to be perfect. I'm only human. I will make mistakes, but I accept correction. Thank you very much, and God bless you, and thank you for allowing me to address you. I yield my time.
All right, thank you very much, Morara and Wakili. Asanteni sana. Who is next on online? Yes, go on. Edgar, who is next online?
We can have Grace Gitau. Hello, Grace, are you there?
Okay.
Can you be able to hear?
Yes, I can hear you.
Go on. Oh, okay.
Kindly you have the mic.
Lynn?
Oh, hey, Edgar. Who, Grace or Grace Kitao or Dwight or Spontaneous?
Lynn?
Sorry. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, if Grace is not there, Spontaneous, you can carry on.
Lynn, let Lynn go on. Lynn?
Okay, I'm here.
Thank you.
Lynn?
Thank you for...
Lynn, go on.
Yes. Thank you for having me on this platform. I just want to comment about JSS and the teachers' medical insurance, given that those are some of the things that made us go on strike. Now, I begin from where my colleague had stopped concerning the road and the problems with junior secondary school. For sure, we have a problem with where these school or the junior secondary is domiciled. The previous regime had domiciled junior secondary in secondary schools. And I think because a lot of research had gone into it, they had looked at the curriculum being offered, human resource, and the infrastructure. These were the key decisions that informed their decision to have this institution of junior secondary be hosted in secondary schools. After all, the teachers who've been posted there, few as they are graduate teachers who teach in secondary schools, and their letters of appointment indicate that they are post-primary school school teachers. But by the time this presidential working party came, and their chair was Professor Munavu. Professor Munavu was my vice chancellor when I joined university at Egerton. They listened to parents, and the parents, as we are talking here, were not informed about the decisions that led to domiciling this junior secondary in secondary schools. So parents were only talking from the point of ignorance, saying our children are young, and they shouldn't go to secondary schools, it's expensive. Yet this committee did not reveal to the parents the kind of curriculum that is supposed to be offered in this junior secondary. So you find that this is a secondary school, lower level, and the curriculum is actually comprehensive, which involves a lot of science subjects, which require practicals. We also have, this is the formative stage of a young Kenyan who is supposed, after finishing grade 9, to have identified areas of competency, whether to go and pursue a pathway in sciences, STEM subject, or social sciences or performing arts in senior secondary school. But as we talk, we are talking about these young boys and girls in junior secondary grade 8 waiting to go to grade 9 in a few months' time, and then from there to be able to choose their areas of strength. One of the teachers talked here and said she is a teacher of geography, and I cannot remember the second subject. But the reality is, on the ground, every junior secondary school has 3 teachers posted there, interns posted there to teach all the learning areas, sciences and humanities and performing arts. And you discover a teacher in secondary school is trained to teach 2 subjects. And the letters of posting indicate that you so and so have been posted to this school to teach English literature. Another one has been posted to the same school to teach, for example, Kiswahili and Arabic. Another one is posted in the same school to teach mathematics and bio. But when you go to the school, you are exposed to subjects that you never learned: computer, music, agriculture, all those things. A teacher of English is supposed to teach mathematics. Remember, by the time you went to university to pursue the 2 subjects, it means you are not so competent in the others. But now, how do you come to school to teach students where you are reading a textbook and you are not able to comprehend? That is the problem number 1. Problem number 2, even if you are a science teacher to teach biology and chem, for example, in one junior secondary school, these schools are hosted in a primary setup. Primary schools do not have laboratories. Neither do they have lab technicians, nor the apparatus required to handle a science practical. How will this young boy or girl be able to say, I have a strength in sciences, so I will go to senior school to pursue my area of specialization or strength? Because this is a competency-based curriculum. We are afraid as teachers on the ground that continuing hosting this CBC junior secondary in primary schools is going to affect a generation, and in maybe 10 to 20 years to come, we shall have no scientists, neither shall we have people with technical skills to drive economy. So we are looking at an economy that is headed south, and we don't even know who to listen to us. We have amplified these issues as teachers, we have talked about them, but the problem we have or we experience as teachers, and I in person, is why we have priorities that are upside down. Why do we when it comes to serious decision making, why do we involve wrong people to make a decision for the the right person? For instance, why are we having a professor of a university whose background is not education to make decisions or to be the one who is leading the docket of education? Don't we have enough teachers in this country who can make that docket and run it correctly? Look at the Matiangi, Dr. Matiangi. He is a teacher of English and literature from Kenyatta University, primary degree. And look at how he ran. He ran the education sector. That is the best time we ever had the best kind of leader heading our docket of education. So as a country, again, we need to rethink our policies. We need to rethink what we want to do, because even if we want to reward people in terms of voting, we can still reward the right persons. Tell the person who supported you that, yes, I want a CS for education. Give me a person with a bachelor of education degree background. And even if that person is a professor, but that person has interacted with the syllabus, with their learning, and with the challenges that are in school. Secondly, that CBC aside and all those challenges, look at the problem of these fires and the burning of the dormitories. We have a policy, 100% transition policy, which is supposed to be ensuring that we are in tandem with the Vision 2030. And so everybody must transit from their primary school to the next level. Students are taken to schools, admitted by the government to schools. So you discover that a principal is given for example, 800 form ones. Nobody comes to the ground to ask where will they sleep. You are given a number of students to admit, and the thing is you have to admit this transition. So if it's a boarding school, for heaven's sake, what do you expect the principal to do? They sleep in all the areas they can find. Dining rooms have been converted to dormitories, and parents are supposed to come and join and at least help the administration to construct extra dormitories. The same parents will complain because there is no money. But when they're being asked to pay this money, some will go and report on media. Media will say the principals are extorting money. The government has given money towards this, but they do not want to address the issue of congestion in schools. It is not a problem of the administrators per se, but it's the problem of, yes, we have a good cause, but have we carried out research? What is the data or statistics telling us about these children we are heaping in these schools? That is another problem. I want to talk about the medical insurance for teachers. It's a very pathetic thing, more pathetic than what my brother was talking about. We went on the streets to have a medical insurance. Yes, we got one, but what we got is pathetic. A situation where you go to hospital and per day you are given a capitation of 2,300. So outpatient, that includes lab, it includes consultation, medicines, and what have you. So most of the times you go to hospital and a teacher will be told, for today, your capitation is depleted, you cannot be treated because part of the money has been consumed by consultation, the rest has been consumed by lab. What is left cannot even run an X-ray or even a scan. So come tomorrow. You have not been given any medication. You go the next day, the money will be consumed by maybe an X-ray or a CT scan. Then the third day, that is the day you are supposed to be given drugs or you are supposed to be treated. It is even worse when you are supposed to be admitted to hospital because there is a requirement of providing information, or that they ask you for those x-rays and what have you. But by the time they're asking for these x-rays, remember your capitation for that day is over and you are so sick you need to be admitted. So for this to happen, because they will not allow you to be admitted without an x-ray report to justify why you are being admitted, you spend your night on the benches so that the next day by midnight that test is done so that it can be uploaded. Most of the time they are rejected. You wonder why they were asking for it. When union officials intervene, then admission is granted by somebody, I don't know from which corners, they are not there. The doctor is seeing you, but the person who is approving your admission is seated somewhere on a computer and says, these symptoms do not grant an admission, treat as an outpatient. Probably you are a a patient, probably you came with pneumonia, you are not even able to breathe. Or if you are admitted, then they give a limit. Admit for 24 hours. By the next morning, the hospital is being told to discharge. You've not even taken a quarter of the dose of the medicine. So it's a back and forth, pull and push process throughout up to the time you'll finish your full dose in hospital, but you shall have suffered.
Ai,
Come
wait,
to
wait,
the
wait a
time.
minute, wait a minute, Lynn. Nelson,
Yes.
unasikia hii maneno?
Yes, nasikia Amerix.
Very painful. Ati wewe unaenda hospitali, kuna mtu kwa kona fulani huko kwa ofisi huko ndiye anaambia daktari, usiadmit huyo ama muadmit for 24 hours. Just imagine, tuko kwa country gani? Na huyo ni mwalimu.
Unajua wanasema au makil hiyo health insurance ya Jayesh saini that they give their employees targets. Out of 10 cases, they must reject 4, irrespective of whether the case is genuine or not.
What? Go on, mwalimu.
Then there is the issue of changing of facilities. If you owe this one a lot of money and you are not able to pay, you expunge them from the scheme. And as you're expunging them from the scheme, you pick another one. I want to give an example of Mombasa because I am in Mombasa, where Aga Khan sometimes is expunged from that list, or because Aga Khan does not accept the operation. They want money first before they take in your patients. So there was a time Aga Khan was removed from the list of facilities. They are cancer patients who've been having a long journey with their oncologists or heart cardiology patients and renal patients. Now, when this thing is terminated, you go to Bliss, which you are told to be referred to Aga Khan. Then they tell you Aga Khan was removed from the list. We are referring you to a new facility called Premier. When this patient goes to Premier, you are due for a chemo. You go to Premier. No doctor under the sun would you cannot just show up and tell an oncologist, I am due for chemo. They don't even know. They have to see you. They have to take their history properly to review you on according to their own understanding. So you will be told the oncology clinic is not there today. Come on this date. When you meet this oncologist, the oncologist will want to begin the journey afresh. They will want you to go for a lot of tests. Unfortunately, these tests cannot be done at Premier, so you'll be referred to go for those tests at Aga Khan. Remember, your file is at Aga Khan. The file cannot be transferred from Aga Khan to another facility. So at Aga Khan, you are going to begin these tests afresh. Your medical cover is getting depleted. You are repeating tests that you have done before. The disease is progressing. Your chemo is going. It's a very nasty thing that you don't even want to talk about. Same to cardiologists, same to people with renal problems. And so we have to keep on fighting, making noise, asking them, please, this is a very sad scenario. Have mercy on this patient. At the end of the day, you will make noise, then some other time it has been reinstated, Aga Khan, then another time it's not, it's on, off. These are some of the painful stories that are facing teachers when it comes to this medical cover. There is also the worst part of you have been admitted. Now you want to go home. It will take over 24 hours. Reason? The hospital is asking, for example, for 67,000 towards your medication. The insurance is paying half of it. So the patient is being told, cough the remaining amount because we are not releasing you. Then the journey starts again. As the journey starts, you are still staying in hospital. Your bills are, you are being given food. Sometimes you may not even be given the food. You are looking so miserable in those hospitals. You are discharged today, you will go home in 2 days' time. You are supposed to be a teacher. Sometimes you're even told to copay because it is believed teachers are malingerers. For you to go to hospital, you just gone to malinga. So you are told copay, outpatient. So bring some 50 bob before we commence this journey. So these things are so bad that those are some of the reasons why we were on the streets. But the worst part of it was that even with this funny treatment, the money that was meant to be given towards our medical insurance was 22 billion, but it had been slashed by half. That is what took us to the streets. So the thing was as good as not there. We are grateful that the strike achieved because this money has been released. Now it went to the 22 billion. We are waiting to see whether we'll have a change of these other issues that I've raised, because we have raised them, we talked about them so seriously. We have a problem with now the Teacher Service Commission with job stagnation, which is occasioned by a career progression guideline based on a Patterson scale of grading. This is a scale of grading that looks at the responsibilities of an employee vis-a-vis the types of decisions you make, especially complex decisions, and the pressure of work. So using this kind of system, the Teacher Service Commission used Deloitte to conduct a research without explaining to these teachers what the research was aimed at gaining. So a few teachers were picked as respondents across the country and given a questionnaire. And you see, in a questionnaire where you have not explained to these people candidly why you are carrying out a research, what the results will be used for, nothing about TSC was there. It was just Deloitte. So it was hidden behind Deloitte. Only after carrying out the research, that is the time now this research, the information was used to come up with this grading system that has occasioned the stagnation of teachers in one job group. So the
Just hold on,
Patterson
just hold on. Wakili.
Yes,
Can
yes,
you
yes.
hear what Mwalimu is saying?
I had stepped away. Maybe she can just
No,
briefly
she has talked a lot of things, progression, stagnation, medical, and things like that. My question to you was, you are a council member at LSK.
Yes.
Our teachers are going through a lot of mental anguish. What can LSK do to rescue our teachers from this mess? Because if we do not have the best education, if our teachers are not in their best state of mind, how will they teach our children? And if they don't teach our children, then we are going to have a situation where the country is going to have the worst graduates in our history. What is LSK doing to support teachers?
I think what we have mainly been doing has been more of litigation in regard to where there have been violations. But I can say, I think we know teachers they have an association which is a union, and it is always expected that these unions, I want to start from there, that each of these unions, because the unions are supposed to be taking care of the welfare of the people, because it's more or less an entity where you're remitting a portion of your money so that they can take care of the welfare of the members. So the question that probably should be asking is, are there measures where the teachers union has put in place in regard to the mental health of the teachers? And if such particular measures have not been put in place, now how can we as lawyers assist in pushing the union that in doing what they're supposed to be doing to its members?
So Lynn, you are a union official.
Yes, I am.
What do you say about the question Wakili has asked you? And again, I really want you to explain to the people listening, why have the teachers allowed politicians to sit on their executive committee? For example, the chairman of Kupeti is Omboko Milemba, the MP for Imohaya. He has no interest of teachers. Why have teachers allowed politicians to sit in that executive committee?
Thank you. Let me begin by the first question about the measures concerning mental health. As a union, we also ensured that mental wellness is part of the medical scheme that we are having. As a result, we brought on board the Chiromo group of hospitals run by this psychologist, Dr. Frank Jenga. And since we brought them on board, though a referral facility, when teachers go there, they are actually handled well. We also have ability to send teachers to rehabs, and when they are rehabilitated, they are transferred from those institutions where they were, taken to counties of their choice, schools where they are nearer so that they can get family support. On that one, we have tried our level best as a union, including these things we are talking about. We agitate and we really advocate. We fight. Sometimes when you look at the CBA that took us to the street, the CBA was registered. Some of those things were part of the CBA, but the issue is they are not honored. We are in a situation where anybody can just wake up and decide, I will not obey court order. I will not do it. And so we don't know what to do next. But that notwithstanding, we are still pressurizing because education is the backbone of a country. Any country that wants to progress, that wants to continue in realizing its goals, must invest in education, and particularly the education of the younger generation, so that they will take the baton. And so we will not stop agitating.
Hold there.
What we only
Activist K. Bazire is Baraza. Is what Lynn saying true, that they are pushing and supporting you?
Okay, thank you, Bwana Eric, and all those who are listening. Am I clear enough?
Yeah, you are clear, but you have an echo. Please take the shortest time possible so that Mwalimu Lynn can finish.
Okay, Madam Lynn, to some extent, she's not being realistic because we as teachers, we have given them the mandate to fight for us. But unfortunately, they have gone against our backs and they're now in bed with the TSC. And Madam is, in fact, she happened to be my executive secretary, who had a very clear vision initially. But once they entered into the position now they are having, I don't understand how all of them, or majority of them, if I can correct myself, have decided to worship the so-called Akelo Misori, who is of course around 65 years old. The guy who is leading teachers unions is around 65 years old. And Madam Molina and the rest are the people who are voting this guy in, knowing very well that this guy is even beyond the retirement age. Now our question is, are our representatives really for the teachers? Yeah, maybe Madam Lynn can respond to that. Why are they voting in someone like Akelo Misori, Ombogo Milemba, and people like Injenga to represent teachers when they are aware Ombogo Milemba is an MP, Akelo Misori is a retiree, and Njenga is a retiree. People like Tonui are politicians, and we have teachers of good sound mind. So I don't know if Madam Lynn is being sincere to us, because of course, in fact, during to some extent, they have mutilated the constitution of Kupe just to enrich themselves. Currently in Kenya, the teachers are suffering, and we do have a union as we speak. The union is there to frustrate us. In fact, the union is being used by TSC to monitor and fast track the teachers and in fact intimidate teachers to some extent.
Can I proceed?
Baraza, are you still there?
Yeah. Let Madam proceed so that we can hear her response on why are they allowing Akelo Misori and the rest to lead our union.
Thank you so much. Let me proceed. Before you talk about why we are allowing the SG and Omboko Milemba and Catherine Wambilianga to be leaders in the union, it's important to explain that before Omboko Milemba and Catherine Wambilianga and Tonui became members of parliament and women rep respectively, they were union officials. So these are titles they acquired much later. And when they acquired these titles, they were given an opportunity to serve on part-time basis. I want to say that much as we may think that we are allowing them because they are mutilating teachers, I particularly will want to point out two things about the benefits as a union we got from them being in parliament. There was a time when in parliament they had introduced a bill that had wanted to turn teaching into an essential service so that the teachers are not unionizable. It was the effort of these very people, including Meli, who is also a former teacher, who made this bill never to pass. Had they not been there because they were members of the unions and they saw it, this bill would have passed. And as we talk today, teaching would have been taken like police, and so we would not be having a union for ourselves. The government is fighting so much to ensure that the teachers' unity can be divided. Secondly, Akelo Misori, I don't know his age, because, but I don't think he's 65 years old or is a retiree. But according to my understanding, when you look at the ILO, you discover that in politics, they don't have retirement times. But in Kupet, we forced and amended our constitution to put a retirement age of 65 years old. So by 2026, we are so sure that whoever shall have reached that age will retire. Now, back to why unions are, you say that unions are not helping you. It's important to realize that the teaching profession has had a journey, a very long journey. When I started working, my salary was 2,700 and I was a degree holder from the Egerton University. It took the union during the times of the late Ambrose Adongo to go on strike, and our salaries were improved to 7,000. When I started working, women were not even entitled to anything called house allowance or NHIF. We were the teachings. It was a very bad kind of profession, but unions have kept on improving this profession. To date, we see many teachers driving. It is not the effort of anybody's ability, but it's the effort of a union. It's important to give credit where it is due, because despite the fact that the salaries increase, albeit little by little, but the welfare of the teacher is not where it was 10 years ago. The salaries of teachers are not where they were 10 years ago. The lifespan of a teacher has improved a great deal. We no longer contribute to bury one another. We no longer contribute as we used to take one another to hospitals. Teachers would never go to Aga Khan Hospital. Teachers would never go to private hospitals before the introduction of this medical insurance. This insurance, the problem is the cartels in these insurances. We don't know why they are never tendered, so that we get the right bidder winning this tender, so that we can be treated by another person again, so that we find out the differences.
Okay.
But all said and yes?
Yeah, finish.
So all said and done, there is a great improvement because of the agitation of the union. People may think that we are the same way, we are poorer. But if you asked me who started working in 1994 and a person who started working today, the teaching profession has improved a great deal. The problems we have are the problems that are occasioned by politics, where there is no political goodwill to support the progress and the demands of teachers. Otherwise, if there was political goodwill, we would not be where we are. Things would be much better.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, fellow Kenyans. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Tonight, I'll talk about education, even though I'm not an education expert. So I'm so passionate with this because in 2013, I was lucky to be a part of a research that has really influenced the nation's history. That was SEMESA, Strengthening Education in Mathematics in East and South of Africa. This, Daniel Songero.
Take the shortest time to allow others to talk.
I'll be so brief. So the research semester was sponsored by Aga Khan Foundation, and they did research in Kenyatta University, through Kenyatta University, Moi University, and Brighton. So after the research, Matiang'i, the then CS, came to KU in Education Forum, and they came up with the story of CBC. And the reason why I've mentioned those three things is for us to understand that Kenya is a startup where everything that is done is influenced by the NGOs. The decisions we make are by NGOs. Students, when you go to school, we are taught to do the right grant, how to write the grants and how to present it and how to get the money. To an instance that even the professors.
There's office of the food, there's office of the...
Okay. Are we together? So it has gotten to a point where everybody in every institution in this country is thinking of doing the best grant and getting the money. So we end up having cartels in education from primary, secondary, university, and now it is affecting these other institutions because who can write this thing? So I would humbly suggest to you, fellow Kenyans, it is time we stop this thing of NGOs. No developed country in the world developed because of NGOs. Look at countries like Sweden. Look at countries like Switzerland. Look at China. So it is time we reconsider this thing because NGO has brought the cartel of this country. They've infiltrated everywhere from parliaments to companies, and that's all I can say tonight.
All right, thank you very much. We just have a small breather of 2 minutes. Spontaneous Ray, give us a breather of 2 minutes as we prepare to wind up.
Okay. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'll play an instrumental behind the background, so just bear with me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. So I go by the name Spontaneous the Poet. I am a spoken word artist in Kenya. Thank you so much for sharing all your thoughts. I'm going to take you back a little on what Bravin Yuri was talking about in terms of mental health and, of course, during the protest and how this affected us. So here goes. This is for everybody who's lost someone during these protests. Here we go. Nalilia mama. Nalilia baba. Nalilia kaka. Nalilia dada. Hey yawa. Hey yawa. Hey yawa. Yawa. Hey yawa. When a young blood bleeds. When a young blood bleeds by the bullet, in your silence, there goes a lineage cut off from you. When a young blood bleeds by the endless strokes in your silence, there goes a blue uniform walk scot-free. When a young blood bleeds till the trenches are filled in your silence, there goes a torn family quenched in the stench that is wrath. There goes a ticking bomb waiting to explode. Here comes a generation ready for justice in your silence.
Edgar, can you hear her?
Who's questioning herself for being alive. Gone is a sister to a brother who's ready to gather up an army and go to war. Gone
No, I can't
is
hear
a
her. I
human
think
on
we've
a
lost her.
quintet. They lost me.
No, she's back. She's back.
Gone.
Gone is a citizen to a nation who's ready to put despotism in its place. Gone is a human on acquaintance who's ready to pull that trigger on a shoot to kill command. So when a young blood bleeds, my yone, my yone, Because when a young blood bleeds, let your hearts be so disturbed until your pain equates to the pain of a robbery. Let your souls be so perturbed until your heart's cries appease the spirit's throb. Let your cries be so loud until justice is found. Because when a young blood bleeds, unjustly, and you feel angry as should, and you take action as should, and you take and speak to justice as should, only then shall a nation rise to defeat this unlawful system. Only then shall their deaths be our resurrection.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Spontaneous Ray, for that poem. Thank you very much for coming through. Edgar, you can go on with the hosting.
Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for everybody who's been sharing. I've been learning so much and just recognizing the power of justice, the power of people speaking as a people together and holding our sovereign power. And thank you for this opportunity, Amerix.
Welcome. We are so proud of you and the entire creative community. We live in a country where the head of creative economy is not creative. So you wonder what creativity are they going to promote? Edgar, go on. Activist, K. Baraza, can go on.
They are dancing on top of the graves of Kenyans. If Raila was so serious about his patriotism for
Activist Baraza, you said you want to finish your discussion.
With a killer, a murderer, a vampire. He wouldn't have done so. And for that reason, 70% doubt whether he will make it.
Hello. Eric,
Please go on. Yeah, please go on. Please go on. The other people want to speak, sir.
Because the first time I was talking about, I was responding to Madam Lynn, but allow me just to have small discussion on corruption that is being meddled in TSC, Teacher Service Commission in this country. And because of time, I'll not take so much time, but I want just to discuss some of them. Number one is how employment currently is being undertaken by TSC. Because most of us live in this country, and you can see very well that since 2022, there is no employment of teachers in like replacement, even those who are retiring, no replacement. Licha ya serikali kutoa pesa, lakini hatujaona replacement ya walimu. Sasa I don't understand hiyo pesa ambayo inayowekwa kwa TSC inaenda wapi. So maybe mtusaidie tuweze kujua. Nimeona lawyer wako hapa na kila mtu watusaidie tujue, je, pesa ya kuajiri walimu ile replacement, those who are retiring, who are these people replacing them? Because currently unakutana na jamaa amekaa tu kwa staff room, unamuuliza vipi bwana, anakuambia amepostiwa hapo without any advertisement, nothing at all. So unapata is like employment za TSC zimekuwa za who knows who. So principals na TSC wamelias together, wanaanza kuchukua watu wao. So you find mtu principal ameleta kazini yake ama a relative or a friend's son or a daughter to be a teacher without that framework of employment. And then number two, we are talking about bribing. Nowadays, like I had a teacher who called me, I think 2 weeks ago. Ananiambia, principal wake alimwambia alete pesa. The guy went back to his rural home. Wakauza shamba. Wakaletea principal 250,000. I think the principal is in Makueni, if I'm not wrong. Principal, baada ya kuuza shamba kumletea pesa, this guy akakuwa mkora. Finally akafuta huyo jamaa, akamfuta kwa bivyo na akamtupa nje. So the guy was frustrated. akanipigia simu, I tried to talk to him, although hatujakutana but we are planning to meet, anielezee vile kulikuwa. Then there is this thing again on transfers. Teachers are suffering on issues of transfers. So the Americs and the fraternity within here, please, I want you to make this loud so that maybe teachers can be relieved from these corruption issues like transfers. Kuizu ukihitaji unaambiwa utoe pesa bwana. TSC saizi iko na wakora huko ndani. Ukiapply transfer online, mtu anakupigia simu, anakuambia now let us meet somewhere, tufanye hivi, na anakuambia exactly transfer yako vile ulikuwa umeapply, shule ambayo uko, mko walimu wangapi, yani the information the way you had applied. Then mtu anakuambia for this transfer to be pushed to the next level, have a down payment. Can you offer a down payment of around 10,000 or 20? Then you can. So teachers are getting stressed. Some of them are even familia zao zavunjika because of this. So we are also frustrated because the level of corruption in TSC has gone beyond normal. Even the corruption in this country generally cannot reach the level of TSC's corruption alone. Look at another aspect of corruption that we are now encountering now. Look at JSS confirmation. An MP is telling us they had allocated 18 billion to confirm JSS teachers. Nancy Macharia, up to now, she's now forcing JSS teachers to extend their internship. The internship for 4 months. So I don't know who is speaking the truth. Until tunaona president mwenye anasema employment ya JSS pesa iko. Nyora anasema pesa iko. TSC anasema hakuna pesa. So I don't know hii pesa ambayo Ndindi Nyora anasema imewekwa ni nani ako nayo na inafanya nini, na mbona walimu wa JSS wasiandikwe kazi bwana. You can't. I have had a teacher here talking about 17,000. What can 17,000 do to a teacher? Na huku wanasema kuna pesa. Then hii nitaruka because kuna mwenye alikuwa ameongelea. Then there is another issue of mutilated payslips za walimu. KUPPET, as we are talking, and TSC wako na kitu siku hizi inajiita BBF. They are forcibly deducting 200 shillings from every payslip ya mwalimu wa mwenye ako kwa hiyo union. And then after deducting, wana activate hiyo kitu inaitwa stoppage button. Ukistop, wanakuonyesha na kama wamestop. Next month unapata wameirudisha by force. So we don't know where is this money going. Who authorizes the deduction of this money from our payslips? Teachers are really asking about this. Why is it that apart from the union fee, we are also having another fee, which we are not so much aware how it is being managed? Walimu wanalia hii 200 inaenda wapi, na wakisimamisha kwa payslip, because I have authority over my payslip. Nikisimamisha next month wameactivate wenyewe automatically, inaitwa KUPPET SUA. So I don't know hii KUPPET SUA mbona imewekwa kwenye throat za walimu, hata yule mwenye hataki bado analipa. I thought it will be better kama tutaachwa tulipe hiyo union fee ambayo let's say ingesaidia walimu, of which it is not doing it as now from what has happened just recently. E200 tafadhali, lawyers who are here, someone can take up this matter and ask the KUPPET and TSC, where is this 200 going and who authorizes the deduction of these 200 shillings? Because this level of corruption and thuggery is now killing teachers. And then I overheard Madam talking about they have brought in issues of mental health. How can you look at the teacher whose payslip has been mutilated, imetolewa pesa, unamletea daktari wa akili, amsaidie nini? Mwalimu mwenye hana pesa anatibiwa na daktari wa akili? We can't do doing this. You cannot treat a bankrupt person with a psychiatrist.
Thank you.
So the people who are in here, please, and the lawyers and everyone in this country, teachers are crying. And as you see, those are just a few things that I wanted to highlight just because of time. When we shall have another time, we shall discuss more. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cyprian, you can go on with the hosting before you come to Nelson, and then we wind up. Cyprian, are you there?
Yes, Eric, I'm here.
Yeah, you can finish hosting, and then as we wind up.
Okay. So I have some people on the speakers list, so maybe we can try have someone who maybe we've not heard from tonight.
Yes, you have not heard from me. This is Mugambi speaking. Kindly, may I have some minutes, Cyprian?
Yes, you can. Kindly proceed.
Thank you. I'm Mugambi, and I'm a JSS teacher. I'm privileged to be on permanent and pensionable terms. That is a privilege, actually, because I have many of my colleagues who are struggling with the internship stuff. I'm in Meru County. I'm employed in Meru County, Tigania West, and I'm lucky. Maybe I share Meru County and Isiolo County. I live in Isiolo County, but I work in Meru County, so I have information about the two counties and everything that is going on about JSS teachers. So as a JSS teacher, I've seen a lot things that I've never experienced before, because before I came here, I was working in a national school, a national secondary school. So I've seen a lot of change. And actually it's a shock. It was a shock before I familiarized with the environment. But anyway, I've heard several people talking about the corruption in TSC, corruption in the Ministry of Education. Something little about corruption that I wanted to add into what others who preceded me have talked about is still about the corruption. You know, these schools that we work in, especially now that JSS is domiciled in primary school, primary school receive a capitation of around 16 point something billion. But yesterday I was doing some calculations, and there is a circular, I don't know whether I call it a circular or a memo, that was circulated to all the head teachers in primary schools that was demanding them to submit 60,000 to sub-county offices so that they can have a retreat in Mombasa. You know, this is a corruption that we have normalized. It has just become normal. We always see head teachers in Mombasa every year. Every head teacher has contributed 60,000 every year. We have normalized this, and I was calculating 60,000 times around 32,000 schools in Kenya, primary schools, public primary schools in Kenya, according to 2021 statistics, because now I want to expect that some more schools have been added. And I was seeing a figure around 1.9 billion. If you get 1.9 billion, that is 16% of the budget that has been allocated to the public primary schools by the government through the free primary education allocation. So 16% going directly, that is direct corruption that we are seeing. And there are some other monies that is disappearing through corruption in that without our knowledge. So that is something that you can see clearly. Anyway, as a JSS teacher, there are some problems that I have experienced. Personally, I am a mathematics and business studies teacher, trained teacher. But whatever I'm teaching something that is called pre-technical. I'm teaching mathematics and I'm teaching something that is called integrated science. In pre-technical, to be specific, the subjects that are found there.
Please
there
wind
is
up.
computer.
Wind up.
I am. Thank you. In pre-technical, there is computer. There is that pre-technical itself and business studies.
All right. Edgar, you can bring in the next. Cyprian, you can bring in the next. All right. Willie, please give us the last bit, then we call it a day. There is also Nelson, and then we call it Nelson. The way forward with Adani, what is the way forward? And also, what are you doing to protect yourself from the threats that have been sent to you before you go to Willie?
Thank you, Amerix. So before I talk about that, there's something I missed. So there's a guy called Christopher Kiregua. Christopher Kiregua is the Director General of Public-Private Partnerships Directorate, and this PPP is where the PPP committee is. It's in the Ministry of Treasury, and Christopher Kiregua is the Director General of this directorate, where this deal, all PPPs are basically approved in the directorate by the PPP committee. And that it's important to note that this guy, Amerix, can you mute your mic, please?
Okay.
Okay. So it's important to note that this guy was appointed CAS. He was appointed CAS by Ruto, and then the CASs were obviously declared unconstitutional. After they were declared unconstitutional, he was appointed to be ambassador. So he is currently holding two positions. He is supposed to go to Washington, D.C. to be ambassador, and currently he is still the Director General of PPP Directorate. So meaning this is a Ruto guy. He has two jobs. There is no intention in the Ministry of Treasury for him to be replaced, and they are almost done with their training. Normally, the ambassadors are trained before they are deployed, and so far, I think they're just waiting to be deployed. And this is a malpractice in itself. And this guy, I think he's here just to make sure that this deal goes through before he goes to DC. So I just wanted to highlight this. And if you guys can go and, put pressure on him, he's called Christopher Kiregua. I will post him on my timeline later, because PPP committee is the only committee that is able to how do you say it? They're the ones who are mandated to reject or accept any PPP deal, not even KAA. So if they accept it, it will go through. Not even the president can append his signature. Only the PPP committee are the ones who can append the signature. I will find out the members of this committee so that tuwasalimie pia kidogo na tuwaulize mbona wanataka kuuza airport yetu. Some other people are also planning to go on the streets, because only protests can help us. As Americ said, it's only by occupying parliament that we will be able to salvage our nation. So on 9/11, we thought it's a good idea to have protests about JKIA. So a few people, if you can join on 9/11, on September 11, we wanted it to be on September 11 because this is a significant day for Americans in the world as well. because this is the day when America was hit by terrorists. So this is a day to commemorate the terrorist attack on the Twin Towers in America. And Adani, they are terrorists. You have seen news in Australia, in Bangladesh, in Sri Lanka, everywhere they go, in India itself. They are terrorists, economic terrorists. So we want to say that we don't want Adani. We don't want Adani terrorists in Kenya to do any kind of business. I know they are in energy right now. They have taken over some PPP on in the energy sector, but we don't want them to proceed with any other deal in Kenya because they are economic terrorists. So, and another thing is obviously we have other things in court going on. A few petitions by a few groups of people, not even one person. There is one that was filed on 25th of July. It will be mentioned on 24th of September. So yeah, these are some of the things we are trying to do to stop Adani in Kenya. And I've seen Tony Gashoka has taken something to Parliament as well. So these are our next steps in this Stop Adani deal.
Right. Thank you very much. And you didn't tell us what you're doing to protect yourself, but of course that's private. I don't want you to talk about it publicly.
Yeah, basically, there is so much you can do. At least I'm not in Kenya. So that's one thing that is, gonna help me, because if I was in Kenya, I would obviously be arrested at the moment. So they can try to use their intelligence cells around Europe, but at least I am safe for now. And as also, because I'm a student, so I'm still covered up to some point, but I will have to raise alarm here and there, even here in the EU, so that nothing happens without the authorities in France knowing, what's happening back in Kenya, because we have seen many people. Just last week, we saw someone got killed from in the Ministry of Treasury because he was impeding some, I think, deal of 200 million or something. So these things are real. The threats are real. I do not take them lightly. So I'm putting measures that will help to protect myself and the people that I think they might go after. Like now, they have gone after my company in Kenya.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Of course, we'll continue discussing and having a private discussion over this. I know some lawyers are also supporting us, so that's something we'll discuss later. So Edgar and Cyprian, can you give us your parting shots?
Okay, thank you so much. I hope I'm being audible. I just want to thank each and everyone who took their time to join the space as from 8 p.m., the Citizen Assembly, hosted by Amerix and co-hosted by Cyprian and Bravin sometime. So thank you so much. We do not have any other country. This is our own country. So we have to fight for our country. We have to fight for good leadership for us to be able to thrive. Because the political class is actually making the environment of doing business so harsh that you can't even start a business if you are unemployed. So we really have to fight for this. We have to fight for this. It's for a good cause. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining in. Asanteni sana. So Cyprian.
All right, Cyprian.
So thank you everyone for joining the space today. We've had some very insightful conversations and it's been very informative. So looking forward to hosting the next one.
All right. So for everyone who joined us, thank you very much. These spaces are for bringing
He's a very big person. He's a lawyer. Akisema we need to maybe have an office maybe that's a good idea because sasa kama nataka kumpata nitampata wapi? Unaona, sijui mahali anaishi na
Asante sana.
hatutaki kujua mahali anaishi, unaona. So hiyo kitu ni sawa, acha tuone vile tutafanya.
Thank
And
you.
contributions, I think hii namba ya M-Pesa, na nimeona kuna watu wanataka kumtumia pesa kutoka ng'ambo. I think anafaa atengeneze pia account zenye inaweza hold pesa kutoka Europe. Mtu akitaka kumtumia pesa kutoka Europe haezi mtumia na M-Pesa, so inafaa atafute place yenye mtu anamtumia pesa, maybe kutoka America, kutoka place yoyote all over the world. People need, kuna watu wanataka
Thank
kumsupport,
you.
so aangalie hiyo pia, atengeneze kama ni account yake,
Your
tukikuja
time
na
is
hii
up.
ofisi
Your time is
yeah,
up.
na
Una
hii account.
overrun. I thank you very much. Asante sana.
Okay.
Morara
Thank
will
you.
take
Thank
your
you.
points into consideration, and I really appreciate. I want to hear from a lady's voice, and I'm going to go to Mama Africa, who has had her hands up. And Mama Africa, please speak to us and consider timings. Do not overrun. Thank you very much. Alafu, Leonard, nimekatiza kwa zilikuwa shaanza kujirudia, but time yako pia ilikuwa imeisha. Thank you very much. Let's forge on. It's 42 minutes past. It's quarter to midnight, ladies and gentlemen. So let's try and make this quick so that everybody gets to speak. And for anybody who's DMing me about their microphones, I cannot see any request. Probably KOT, kama unaona any sort of request, please accept them so that we have everybody speaking. I'm unable to see any sort of request coming in. So I'll moderate as KOT keeps on accepting those microphones. So Mama Africa, good evening, good morning, good afternoon from wherever you are. Speak to us, please. Mama Africa, are you there? If you're not there, I will go straight to Joan Kanini. Okay. Joan Kanini, speak to us. Good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening, everyone. I'm good. I hope you're all well. First of all, is to congratulate Morara on what he's doing, KOT and IO for hosting these spaces over time. Mine is a quick one. Someone mentioned on why Morara should not have an office at his home. I will not divert more on that, but I think it's not safe to have an office at your home where your family is. Something else on finances. This is a movement that we should not worry much about the small things. Yes, there's need to have accountability, but this is a movement that will awaken Kenyans. The politics of handouts are coming to an end thanks to Morara. So we should support him, continue to support him and support other people, other young leaders who want to come up. So in the Kenyan youth, we are so many, the Gen Zs, the millennials, and the old people who are with this movement. There are so many, and they would want to support someone even without the money. So it is a movement that is, the money issue should not be a big concern. We should not keep dragging Morara on these small issues. Someone has mentioned about his office. I would say I did vie in 2022, and there's need for organization. And Morara should go all in. This idea of telling him, no, you might not be safe because they are goons. Morara, is time now. The team that you have at the office, let's have representatives from all counties and all wards, so that I can tell you there's a lot of goonism in politics, and it's time also for us, but this time tell us, instill fear in them, let them know that you're going to Juja. But behind scenes also, we have now told our people in Juja that we will be coming, and they will be the people that will talk to the goons, because these guys know each other. So this idea of telling Morara, don't go, Morara, please go all in. This is politics, and you need to instill fear in these people, and they're already afraid. But this idea of telling, you need to stop here and there, it's not going to work. So a political party is key at this point. the idea of saying, no, we must not go, a political party is very important at this stage, and that will be the vehicle that will now carry the rest of us, because if without a political, this is a political system, and a political system must have a political party. So we need to have also a crowdfunding campaign that is structured, that it has a very good system, because this movement must continue not only for now, but till 2027. That is my input for tonight, and God bless you all. And Morara, by the way, if you need support on the ground, call us. We will be supporting you wherever you need anyone to come and help you do the civic education. All the best, guys.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time and your advice. Morara, umesikia? Hakuna kujificha. Tunaenda hapa kama tuko confident, tunajipiga kifua. Hakuna kujificha jificha ofisi. Wacha wachome. Wakichoma tutaweka zingine. Wacha wazidi kuchoma. Watakuwa wanatujenge hata PR. Na tunapatia unachiki public sympathy Ruto alitumia kushinda kura. Wacha wachome, tutatumia hiyo public sympathy kushinda hiyo kura. Very nice. Those are good ideas. Thank you so much, Joanne Kanini. I see my elder, senior elder, Ruben Kigame. Good evening, Ruben. How are you doing today? Talk to us, please, before I go to the rest of the speakers.
Thank you so much for such a wonderful space. Because of the time difference, I joined a bit late. Ndio tumetoka church. Morara, thank you so much for injecting in a very powerful way. I was actually going to join you before I left, but as soon as I'm back, nitakuwa na wewe hapo. KOT Sonko, thank you so much for the civic education and all that is going on. I requested for the mic specifically to give some guidance on the issue of the political vehicle and those who want to vie. I think she was called Wanjiro that spoke. That's when I requested for the mic. Because there are so many young people that are wanting to vie but do not know the ropes, so what is involved, what am I supposed to prepare, what are the challenges that I'm bound to face, and so on and so forth. And so I thought to let you know that from the month of October, I'll have a virtual session for those who want to vie, regardless of political party or whether they are they belong somewhere or not, but they want to actually participate in the next election, as long as they are Gen Zs or young. Let me just put it that way. They want to take this government on. So I'm going to be sharing some tips. What does it take to be an MCA? What does it take to be an MP? What does it take to be a governor or senator or a president, whatever the case may be? And I will have people within the movement that are not traitors. Some of those that have run also share their experiences. So you can inbox me and I'll be able to add you to that group. Now, regarding the political vehicle, there are things I cannot say here because I know they are government representatives. But I do want to request for a meeting with Morara and the KOT Sonko so that I can give you the inner lining of how to get the vehicle registered or without interference. Because as things stand right now, of course, we have more than 100 parties that are registered, but most of them are shells or parties that belong to existing politicians. So you have to be very careful if you even think of joining anything other than ODM and KK. You have to be very alert as to who is the real owner of a particular party. And then in case you want to register one, you need to know the time element because it's time bound. For example, you'll be given, about 30 or 90 days to accomplish a particular requirement, then another 6 months, and so on and so forth. Generally speaking, it will take you maybe about 12 to 18 months to actually have a party fully registered and compliant. If you're going to do this for 2027, you need to factor that in, because a party is really like a government in waiting. So know that there will be a time element, then know that there will be state interference, because everything is then run through NIS. So NIS will check who is registering and so on. So, for example, if Morara decided to register one now, he will certainly be blocked, or KOT Sonka. They'll block you. They say you can do this or delay, and then by the time the election comes, you'll not have a party. So there are other ways to go around it, and I can walk you through that. If you want to raise funds as an individual, you will find a lot of resistance, because ordinarily people don't really support individuals. So it would be better to have an organ, like the speakers before have said, for accountability, but also because if you get a lot of money as an individual, you'll be flagged, and you may be prevented even from spending it. So you need to be very careful, especially when they know that it's coming for political activism and or action. You will find that KRA or some other entity will come at your door asking you about this or the other. So you are safer when you operate within an organ. And just to close, in case you are in the wider USA, I'm here for a few moments, and we can certainly engage and see how to back up the movement. Thank you. You can inbox me for that. God bless you.
Thank you, Senior. Thank you, Senior. I really appreciate your time and your advice. I will single-handedly DM you. We need to speak about some issues with my team. We are trying to come up with one, and not you're trying, we are coming up with one, and we will use your advice. Your advice will go a long way. Thank you so much for just coming up to advise us on the pros and cons and what to look out for when forming political vehicle. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 7 minutes to the top of the hour, midnight East African time. And I want to bring in new speakers. I want you guys to take the shortest time possible, because I have loads of requests and loads of speakers lined up for you guys. The ones who are raising up their hands, the ones who've not. And I can see my brother MMESQ Hapo Chini. I really appreciate you. And I always appreciate your injections whenever you inject on a space. And I want to go to Shizi. Shizi, you've been here for a while, though your hand is not up, but I want you to hear a female voice on this topic. So please come in. And how do we drain the swamp? Talk to us.
Thank you so much, Ayo. And
Yes, Q, just a moment. It's Shizi. Nakuja kwako, wewe nilikupatia tu big up.
I'm sorry. You know, you mentioned my name. I'm sorry.
It's all right, my brother. It's all right.
Okay.
It's all right. Let's go to Shizi, then I'll come back to Mweru. Shizi, go ahead, please. Shizi, siwezi kakusikiza. Sijui kama mnasikia Shizi. No, we can't hear you, Shizi. Please fix your mic, then come back. Just drop and come back again. Probably it's because of the network issues. So let me go to Mweru. Mweru, talk to us. Good evening from wherever you are. How are you doing today? Talk to us.
Evening. Thanks for the mic. I've been listening since you guys started the space. I really agree with you, Ayo. It's time to form a party. I think at this point it's inevitable. Everything we're doing cannot just be we can do all this, and then when it comes to election in 2027, we have no alternatives. We end up having to vote for the same people. So I think it's time to structure this thing. It's also going to help with funding. I've said this previously. The minute you guys create a real concrete structure, funding will happen. I personally don't mind networking in the diaspora in the US to help raise funds, but we need structure. So I do agree. It's time to do this. And the previous speaker mentioned something that is very keen. We have to realize we keep talking about 2027 like it's so far away. I just counted the days. We only have 1,095 days before election hits. And like he mentioned, we have to bear in mind some of these things. Like if you're going to register as a candidate, it's not just going to happen very easily. So I think it's time we start working on a party now. We register this party. We start recruiting people who want to vibe, because there's no point of somebody like Morara running for president and we all vote for him and then he goes in, he doesn't have a majority. He has to deal with the same bigots we have in office. So structuring is very important. It's going to provide time for us. Even we need you guys everywhere. Personally, I would like to engage in politics and run for a seat. But constitutionally, I'm disqualified because I'm a dual citizen. So you guys take on this opportunity. Register this party 100%. We have about 1,000 days remaining. We form panels where we go to every county. We need governor. We need a governor. We need MPs. We need you guys to be majority in the parliament for this thing to work. So I do agree. And time is of essence. And we need to remember this. We have no choice now. We have to be very, very, very intentional. All those people who are speaking in spaces, to me, I've listened to some of them. I want you in office. I'd rather listen to you. Why do I need to listen to people like Kalonzo or people like all those old people who've been listening to for 30 years? No. We need to be very, very intentional now. We need to have to register this party now, start recruiting people, start vetting them, so that we make sure that when it comes to that time of voting, we don't just do things last minute and we're in a rush and then we end up with candidates who we don't even know. We haven't vetted them. And I know people are scared of infiltration. It's going to happen. And that's good, because now we'll have time, and people who get infiltrated, we remove them from the party and then we get new people. So it's time to get going. I don't know what we're waiting for. And then when we start mobilizing people, and especially what Morara is doing now, it's going to be, it'll make sense, because now he's going around and revealing all these things. He's hitting the ground, which basically to most people, they're perceiving it as he's rallying for candidacy. But people need to know what are we talking about? Which party? What are we offering them? I have spoken to people in some of my cousins abroad and in Kenya too, who are living in different parts, and they're like, what are you guys waiting for? So let's do it. I agree with you, Ayo. Let's create structure. It's time. It's inevitable. We don't have a choice. We have to be very, very intentional going forward. So that is my take on this. Like, yeah, let's do it. And then we start vetting people and we go and hit the counties and come up with our own candidates who we like. So, yeah, that is my take on this. I think it's inevitable. Let's do it.
Thank you so much, Mweru. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much, and for rubber stamping my thoughts. Asante sana. Mugambi, najua nimekutesa, umekuwa hapa for some time, unainua mkono hadi mkono inachoka. But Mugambi, I'm on you right now. After Mugambi, niko na Chris on the mic. Thank you so much, the previous speaker. I really appreciate your time. Go ahead, Mugambi, please.
Thank you, bro. Thank you very much. Nimeinua mkono wenyewe, but I understand that we are many na kila mtu ako na contribution yake yenye anataka kumake. Personally, I want to appreciate Morara because of the good work that he's doing all over the country. Kotsonko, Ayo, you have been really doing some good civic work online. Morara alikuwa Isiolo. I come from Isiolo. Yesterday, Morara was here, and I'm proud of this guy. Unfortunately, vile alikuja Isiolo, I had traveled to Meru. Kwetu ni Meru. So I happen to live in Isiolo. I work in Meru, so kuna mambo hapo. But I really appreciate the good work that he's doing. I will not keep on, I will not go to the point of telling him what to do, what not to do, because I've been here and I've listened to what people have, how people have advised Morara. So many advices to him, but I know Morara is a wise man. He will sit down, analyze, and pick the right ones that he's going to apply. And all of us us actually we are going to pick the right advice that we are going to apply, because so many people have injected good advices. One thing that I would like maybe Morara to look at, and all of us to look at, is corruption that we have normalized in the Ministry of Education. Actually, it's a corruption that we have normalized, and we have taken it as a normal thing. There is this thing of head teachers or principals going to Mombasa every year, every December. And yesterday I did some analysis because I happened to come across some